The film it blends, high octane action with the sibling comedy. So, how did you calibrate the balance between emotional conflict and larger than life spectacle in it?
I have to give credit where credit is due, and Jonathan Tropper, our writer, he did such an amazing job balancing the humor, balancing the banter of the brothers, and incorporating throughout a lot of great opportunities for action sequences. And when you have those two planets of guys that bring so much energy to the film, they were able to bring a lot of who they are in real life. That's why those characters feel lived in, and their chemistry is so unique, is because they're actually playing heightened versions of themselves. So doing that approach while also trying to do action that feels that, that lives in the physics of this world makes for a unique experience.
And buddy cop films often rely on familiar beats. So, what was your biggest challenge in making this one feel fresh and personal?
Well, I think on the personal level, it had the opportunity of exploring situations that happen in colonized countries, like the displacement of indigenous people or gentrification. Like Puerto Rico, we've been living through this our entire lives, and being able to find a way to talk about it through action and humor and comedy in this film via Hawaii was a great opportunity for me to pitch in. But at the same time, the part that got me excited about the whole exploration of this genre was the fact that Tropper weaved in a very important part that is often left out of action movies, which is having our heroes who are testosterone driven, and the action is explosive, but there's a moment of vulnerability that is not just a payoff. Everything in this movie has been an excuse for these two grown ass men to finally have a moment where they can take their walls down, be vulnerable with each other, and start a healing process, which a lot of times we don't dive enough in these type of movies, because there's this misconception that real men don't ask questions, real men don't show emotion. And we believe that is the opposite. I think if you embrace that side of you, you're going to be able to be the man that you're meant to be.
And the film is set in Hawaii, which almost becomes the character in itself. So, how did the location influence the storytelling and visual language?
So yeah, it did. A lot of these movies take place usually in like cities, downtown areas. Our biggest references and the shoulders that we know we stand on, like Lethal Weapon or 48 Hours. Everything takes place, in downtown LA. For us, it was like, how can we embrace the homage of these films, but painted on a tropical picture. I mean, you cannot hide the tropical landscape. You cannot hide the sun in Hawaii. So let's embrace it and make it part of it, and give a different texture to a genre that embraces the cultural identity of a place.
And Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista, they bring very different screen energies. So, how did you shape their dynamics so it felt organic on the screen rather than performative?
So they everybody has different ways of approaching acting, and I think that was a beautiful thing to experience. Um, Dave brings his monk-like presence. Like he has this unique presence, and he's very rigid. And in real life, he's a very disciplined guy, and his character is not that different. It's almost like this is what the extreme version of yourself could be. And him being able to tap into those emotional elements and depth that his character requires was a breath of fresh air for the roles that he's been getting in the past. So he really appreciated the fact that he was able to play a character that has nuance, that's a father, that embraces his age in the moment in time where he's at, And with Jason, same thing. Jason is more, he brings that nihilistic, fun, explosive energy to the set. The same way that he's in real life and you see him on social media is not that different from the way he handles acting. And he will come and he will explore and he will keep it spontaneous. One of the things that I learned to appreciate throughout the process was how that spontaneity and that living in the character in the moment also inspired the rest of the actors to embrace a little bit more of ad-libbing on scenes from the point of view of the character. So they're reacting in a way that they already know the script so well that they can actually riff off of the script, stay in character, but come up with new ideas that have been built on throughout the relationship they have had during production. So giving them the freedom to explore parts of the character and parts of themselves outside of the script was something very beautiful to see.